Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to the Arrowhead Kingdom Chiefs cast live from the Wolf Den. I'm Chris.
And I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about all things Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to talk about an unfortunate loss that we have to the community, and that's where we're going to start. But a big reminder that all Chiefs fans are invited to join us for game day. Visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about the group and to find your local chapter. Also, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are, of course, presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and coordination services. Visit them at completewedo.com.
Yes, and other than talking about your Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to be doing our best Billy Mays impressions, but you'll find out when that comes.
Yes, we will. All right. So we do have to start with a somber note, and that is the loss of number 16, who is right over Chris's shoulder and mine as well. Dead center in the middle of this fine piece of Chris Rao art for the best Chiefs players ever. So number 16 in your program, number 1 in your heart. He spent time as a color commentator in the booth. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame twice, 1 as a player and 2 as a broadcaster. And I have to imagine that if you were starting the Chiefs Hall of Fame from scratch and you were going to put a player in every single year, this has to be the first guy in. I mean, he's the first guy in. He's the number in the ring. Derek Thomas is probably number 2. So, you know, for me, obviously I haven't seen any real Len Dawson play live. It's all been watching recordings and stuff like that. But I would say for the most part, to me, Len Dawson is the voice on the radio that we're unfortunately not going to get to hear anymore. And the reason why the majority of my life I could talk about the Chiefs as a Super Bowl champion. So that's Len Dawson to me. Chris, what do you have for Len Dawson?
Yeah, my first memories of Len Dawson were him, as the sports director on KMBC. I was fortunate enough when I was 9 to actually sit on set and watch an entire broadcast, and that's probably as easily the closest I've ever been to Len Dawson in my life. But I was also too young to appreciate who he was at that time. But the thing I didn't know until I've read some stories here honoring him is that he was actually the sports director at KMBC while he was still playing. Yeah. So apparently there's a really good interview, or I guess a nice story on 810's The Program. If you go on, I think their Thursday second hour, Pete Enoch, who is a guy who's been with Kansas City broadcasting since, I think, probably goes back to the 50s. So I mean, he's almost seen everything in Kansas City sports going back to the Kansas City A's. But he talked a lot about his experiences with Len Dawson, talked a lot about just his humbleness and also his calmness. He never acted like he was bigger than everyone in the room, and at the same time, he never got shaken up by anything. I mean, you could see that from whatever limited tape that we can see in our generation of him. But learning more about him, he's the nickname Lenny the Cool is well deserved.
Yeah. Brian, thoughts on Len Dawson?
Now, his photo is the one of him smoking a cigarette and having a Fresca, right?
Drinking a Fresca.
Yes,
Yep, that's him at halftime of the Super Bowl.
It's like the best photo ever.
Yes, it is.
Just like, can you imagine that happening today? Like, just some dude like Patrick Mahomes lighting up a smoke halfway through the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, with people of that age, it would have to be a vape, right?
Or a vape pen, yeah. That'd be good. But but every time anyone talks about Len Dawson, I always think of that photo for some reason. I don't know if it's because of the Lenny the Cool aspect of, like, he just seemed like just seemed like I mean, obviously smoking, I would dare I say it's not cool. But in that photo where he was in the middle of this big football fight and then going down, like he's just ready to go to battle, and he's just doing what he does, having a fresca. Maybe the fresca is what's made it cool.
The
Like,
fresca is what I
Yeah,
think
it
is
does.
funnier than the cigarette. I mean, everybody
the
smoked in
fresca
the
is pretty
'70s, but fresca is a choice, and I think fresca is pretty uncool if I'm being honest.
Coke or Pepsi, neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Oh god.
but yeah, no, obviously tip of the hat to the legacy, and rest easy. That's all I have to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, the last thing that I kind of want to mention about Lynn Dawson before we get into the next piece is really liked the way that they started the preseason game against the Packers with the tribute doing the choir style huddle. And I mean, the still pictures, you have most of the guys lean the same way and everything. So I applaud the level of preparation and everything that went into that. And I had a little mini freak out seeing Patrick Mahomes go out on the field. It's like, what? No, you're not supposed to be playing. and then they line up in that huddle, and you see the clock start to count down, and it's like, oh, I know exactly what you're doing. This is great. And I was happy that he took his helmet off and didn't play anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, he dressed out just to do that. I mean,
Yeah,
otherwise he would
absolutely.
have just been in, shorts on the sideline. But,
Absolutely. But that, I mean, just tip of the hat to the entire organization. I think that was absolutely perfect, the way they did it. And they really had about as perfect of an opponent to do that against as they could. Playing the Vikings would have been a little bit better, but it just it was the right team to be playing. So all around, that was great. All right, let's get on to a more bright topic where we can get into our Billy Mays personas and everything. So been talking for a while about how Arrowhead Kingdom has huge plans for supporting road games. Well, the first event that I want to talk about, we have put something really special together for Indianapolis. So we're going to be doing a legitimate tailgate before the game, about a quarter of a mile from Lucas Oil Stadium at an event venue called the Crane Bay. We have the event queue group coming in, and Brian can throw the flyer up and also the link and everything. So we'll be able to show that for this portion here as well. But we've got an official member of the Kansas City Barbecue Association that is doing the meal for this. So we're talking like a proper tailgate. We're finalizing some of the extra things that we might be doing, but what I can tell you is that you're going to be fed well, you're going to be around other Chiefs fans, there's going to be red all over the place, and we'll have a festive musical atmosphere and everything like that. But if that does not get you juiced up to go to this event, Brian, want to make some commercials for this real quick?
Yeah, we should make some commercials right now for this event.
All right, so before we do the commercial for the event, we need to do a commercial for something else. And Brian, I think you have a product to sell everybody.
Okay, so the text written in this this promotion is written by a software called Jasper. And if you click on the link below, you'll have access to the 10,000 free credits to using this software. The software is a great AI content writing tool that wrote this content for us. All you got to do is feed it a few pieces of information, and it makes a great piece of sales copy for you. And you're going to see it right now.
So not only do you get to make your own commercials, but you get to be part of the Skynet takeover that kills us all. So thank you for that, Brian. I'm glad to know that we're contributing to our own demise. But yeah,
no one sees this part of Terminator 2.
John Connor, if you're watching right now.
Yeah, no one. The lead up to John Connor. This is where we're at on that.
Yeah, we're gonna have Sarah Connor in our houses slitting our throats here later tonight.
Yeah,
she's gonna be having barbecue at the party.
So this is our last Chiefs cast. Sarah Connor is gonna make sure that she eradicates us, so we can't keep doing this. But all right, Brian. So what did Jasper put together for us?
Okay, so I put in the chat, Josh, I have for you a 60-second live read or copy read for you to make for a video. This is normally used for videos for social media. When you're scrolling and videos start, you see like a sponsorship, like someone pitching to somebody. So in the voice of Billy Mays works really well. Chris, same thing to you. Copy is going to be similar to what Josh is, but a little bit different. Feel free to use it how you want to do. And I have my own copy to read as well. 3 different versions. Pick the one you like best.
All right, so we're gonna have a Billy Mays off. I think that Brian, as the concoctor of such things, should go first and set this example. What do
All
you
right.
think,
Okay.
Chris?
I can do that.
All right.
I got my copy lined up here. Okay. Ready?
Born that way.
All right. Here we go. And let me make sure this. Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Brian from Arrowhead Kingdom, and for the next minute, I want to talk to you about our upcoming party at the Indianapolis Colts game. This is going to be a blast, and we want you to be there. Tailgating is a huge part of the Chiefs experience, but it can be tough to find a good group to party with. In fact, 1 out of 5 Chiefs fans will never find a tailgate that they really connect with. That's why we're throwing our own official Chiefs tailgate party before the game. Before we go, we're going to have KC style barbecue, and it's going to be the best tailgate in town. If you're looking for a great time and a chance to connect with other Chiefs fans, this is the event for you. Tickets are just $60, and we guarantee you'll have a blast. So click the link below and buy your ticket today. We'll see you at the game.
I love it, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Not bad, huh?
How do you follow that? Wow.
All right.
I'm like the David Cassidy when they sing the one take Cassidy's, it's like I can't sing, but I can do that.
Yeah. I think I love you.
What am I so afraid of? I don't know. You feel it, Chris. You just gotta feel it. I was thinking Billy Mays in the the infomercial. It's 2:30 in the morning. You just got back from the bars. You got Taco Bell.
Yep.
He's on TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can clean your dirty clothes. Chipotle way.
I was going to say Chipotle.
All right.
Who's going next?
All right. I'll go next. So
right.
Prepare.
Get
Got
the
my
vocal
notes.
cords ready. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Josh Kingsley here with Arrowhead Kingdom. We're having a party at the Indianapolis Colts game, and we want you to be there. Now, we know that KC Chiefs fans are looking for a community to tailgate with before the game, but we don't want you to miss out. 1 out of 5 Chiefs fans won't ever find a group to party with, but you're different. You're Arrowhead Kingdom. We've got KC-style barbecue at our tailgate. It's the best in the business. So whether you're looking for a great time watching the Chiefs beat the Colts or just wanting to live a happier life, come join us. Tickets are just $60, so click the link below and get your ticket today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think my favorite part about that is it sounds like Billy Mays in South Park.
Yeah. That's the only Billy Mays.
You're doing South Park Billy Mays.
That's the only Billy Mays for me. Yeah.
Oh, Josh, that's spectacular. Yeah, that. Come on, you buried me on that one. You did much better than what I did. That was great.
Let's see how the votes come out here.
So
yeah.
I have done way more Billy Mays impressions than you. I'm absolutely certain of that. Now, what I will be clear about is that none of us have practiced this script. So there you go.
Nope, we have not. We just kind of let it roll.
Okay.
Okay, Chris. Now, Chris,
Right.
do you want to do Billy Mays or did you want to do Ben Stein? You were talking earlier. I don't know how you feel.
Since my voice doesn't project as well as your guys's does, and I have a bit of a lower tone, I'm going to see about Ben Stein doing an infomercial here. So,
Okay, let's do it.
all right,
All
here
right.
we go. Hi, it's Chris from Arrowhead Kingdom. Are you a Kansas City Chiefs fan looking for a great tailgate party before the game? Do you want to eat some delicious KC style barbecue and hang out with other Chiefs fans? If so, we've got just the thing for you. Arrowhead Kingdom is hosting a tailgate party at the Indianapolis Colts game, and we want you to be there. For just $60 per ticket, you'll get the best Kansas City style barbecue you can eat, plus plenty of beer and other drinks to enjoy. This is the perfect opportunity to find a community of Chiefs fans to tailgate with before the game. Unfortunately, 1 out of 5 Chiefs fans never find a group to party with. Don't let that happen to you. Buy your ticket today and join us for the best tailgate party in town. Go Chiefs.
Very good. Very good.
I had to mute myself so I didn't Jimmy Fallon that. That was incredible.
That was very funny. I want to win your money.
Man, okay. So yeah, Brian, we have to clip those and use those as our commercials for this event. That's just the fact, right?
I think we have it right there. Yeah, I have what I need, and we'll put some music behind it. Even I don't know. Well, yeah, I'll do a thing with it. You'll like it. It'll be good.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's going to be time. We might go to Home Depot.
Yeah. Bed Bath and Beyond. Yeah.
All right.
Heck yeah.
All right. So, details are going to keep coming. You guys saw the link. Tickets are $60 to go to this. You're going to get a great meal. You're going to be really close to the stadium. I'm personally going to be down there. I'll be running the music and everything. So this is going to be a great event. I would love to meet more people from the kingdom.
I've partied in Indianapolis before. It's a pretty fun town.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, Indy's great. And then, of course, figuring out a steak at St. Elmo's is probably going to be on the list as well. So.
No, I had a steak at that place, the Miami coach or whatever his name is. What's his
the
name?
what?
The Miami Dolphins guy.
Don
Shula's. Don Shula's, yeah.
They had a steak, his steak place there. It was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's unfortunate is we can't go to Charles Mulligan's Steakhouse. It's the best damn steak and the best damn, city and possibly the whole country. I can't remember exactly how Ron Swanson does it. This is my first steak there. It was a porterhouse. Béarnaise sauce.
He's like a kid in the front of a birthday cake.
This steak was a ribeye. The drink was Lagavulin Scotch. My company was a bitch. Specifically, my ex-wife Tammy. Who's his real wife in real life, which is just
that's right. Make him
plays that character.
Yeah, Malala, yeah. It rubbed off from friction.
Yep. It rubbed off. Your guys' first dance song was Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling. Oh God. So real quick, favorite Parks and Rec episode.
Oh gosh.
I'll go first. Mine is the one where they're doing the hamburger competition. That is the best episode in that entire show.
Okay, any episode where Andy was and Ron was pretending to be his son, kind of like he's hanging upside down. He's at the park. He's wondering if people actually live in ATMs and put money into it, and he falls and breaks his tooth, like stuff like that. So it's not really an episode; it's a thing that I like watching.
Well, exactly. I mean, anything with Andy's incredible. One of my favorite moments is when he goes to London to work with the trust fund guy, and you think he's got some British stiff that he's never going to connect with, and he's going out wrecking drones and stuff like that. Oh, I have a lot of money and I bought helicopters. Would you like to go race them and crash them into each other out in the the garden?
Oh, what a great show.
Chris, what's yours?
Probably, I think it's the season 3 finale where they honor little Sebastian with that big festival.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite part, other than the spinning desk, is when Ron lights the torch and basically takes off like half his mustache.
Yeah,
his eyebrows.
So I like the lead up into it when Ben Wyatt is all then we got approved for all the permits for the horse funeral, and Ron gets mad at him. Bye, little Sebastian.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good show.
All right. So I'm going to flip the order a little bit here before we talk about the preseason and get into some actual football analysis and stuff like that. You guys following any of this stuff with the man who can't keep his mouth shut, Tyreek Hill?
Yeah,
I have
see
not.
it.
Yeah, so there's a new meme. So the newest part of South Park, they've turned Randy Marsh into Karen Marsh, and so they give him like old lady hair, and he walks around demanding to see a manager all the time.
Oh, God.
So there's a meme. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it, but it's Tyreek Hill with that, and it's got his latest quote where he's saying that he felt like he was thrown away like a piece of trash by the Chiefs. And I mean the whole thing, I don't have the energy to get mad about stuff like this. I understand where everybody was coming from for the whole situation. I applaud Tyreek Hill for getting his money. I appreciate the Chiefs' level of restraint for not paying that if it didn't fit into the grand scheme. And I really think that they're starting a renaissance towards more of a Patriots slash Packers type of bill, where it's like, we've got the guy on offense, we're going to put a couple of weapons around him, and we're going to focus on putting an elite defense together. And I mean, I think we're seeing step one of that right now. So I think my overall conclusion is I kind of feel bad for the guy, because I think he really would rather be in Kansas City. And I don't doubt that he actually does feel that feeling to a degree, that he was just kind of tossed aside and viewed as not useful, if you will. The only thing that I think sucks is that every single one of these bites that comes out just makes it that much longer before he gets back into the good graces here with the majority for the inevitable, tours where he comes back and probably gets his name in the ring and, all of that stuff. So, Chris, I don't know if you have any different take of that or anything to add to that, or if I'm assuming we're pretty aligned on this.
Well, I mean, with the whole podcast thing, I think he's trying to build a brand in some way, shape, or form. And then
I agree with that too.
The comment about, Tua's accuracy and whatnot. I mean, is he going to actually say something like, man, this isn't like playing with Patrick Mahomes? He's got his quarterbacks back. I mean, I actually kind of admire that. And then with
100% admire it.
I also think that part of this is he's just trying to put a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to create some type of motivation for himself, to come out and dominate. Now, whether he's going to be able to is going to depend on how far his quarterback can throw him the ball. But there's no ill will for me toward him. And yeah, I think after a couple years at most, nobody's going to remember this, except those that really want to hold a senseless grudge. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Josh. I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad it wasn't from Kansas City. Is he deserving of it? Obviously, because the market dictated that. But
absolutely.
But you can't. I've said this before. Actually, someone asked me couple of weeks ago about Tyreek's contract, and I was like, not at all, because there's only 4 positions I would pay top of the market for, and that's quarterback, left tackle, cornerback, and edge. Like, I would not pay top of the market to a wide receiver. I don't care. So that's just my opinion.
Brian, any thoughts to add?
I agree with Chris thinking there, like this we've all been alive long enough to know like how these things go out. Maybe it's a flash of a smack talk right now, but no one's going to remember it. And people who do, it's just like, well, they pay really close attention to this kind of thing. But by and large, it's just going to go its own way for what it's going to be in the next few years. If it's whenever he is inducted in the Ring of Honor, or who knows where he ends up, he's as long as he stays healthy, who knows what the next 3 to 5 years looks like. And you're right. Maybe he's looking at the podcast numbers. He can make his money in his 30s, 40s, and 50s being podcaster.
Life after football,
right now. Yeah. Make more money doing that, like a Joe Rogan money or something like that. Who knows? But
all right, Pat McAfee's the guy that cracked that code.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's and tip of the hat, if that's what he's trying to do, like, look, I'm going to be doing this for another few years before I however old he's been, 20s probably. I don't know how old he is, and then I got to think about what to do after that. And if I'm going to be a commentator on the television, or trainer, or coach, or maybe I want to be a podcaster because I have opinions and I have a perspective and I have attitude. That could be a thing. So maybe that's what he's setting up for. Who knows? But in terms of legacy, I mean, as long as the Chiefs don't come out and try to like push back or do anything egregious, I think everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are adults in this situation, and Tyreek Hill's kind of the moody teenager, so it makes sense. I mean, speaking of Pat McAfee, we haven't really gotten into that guy. I'm not the biggest fan of his show. I don't listen to it that often. It's I can't even tell you what doesn't completely connect with me, because on paper it really should. But the thing that I truly just appreciate and admire about what that group has done is they took a brand and they built it so quickly and effectively that they essentially torpedoed the plan of most of the lineup on Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM when they took that. I used to listen to Nick Wright do his show that was at 5 Central, I want to say. So it's what I always drove home listening to.
Was that the one you did with Chris Carter? Or?
No, it was called
oh.
What's Right. So the one with Chris Carter was
yeah.
First Things First on Fox Sports. So
Gotcha.
but Nick Wright was burning the candle at both ends. I'm a huge fan of that guy. But so he would do his 6:30 to 8:30 show with Chris Carter until Chris Carter reminded everybody that he's somebody that can't keep his mouth shut when he needs to as well. But he was playing with live ammo at that time and got got thrown off of a show. But Nick Wright was doing a 5 p.m. Show, so almost 12 hours later. And so his intention was to move up to an earlier spot within Mad Dog Sports Radio. And the between the lines that I read was that essentially the programming director for that channel came in and told Chris Mad Dog Russo, it's like, Pat McAfee's taking the middle of the day slot and your name's on here and we can't do this without you, but this is how this is going to go. And so, Nick Wright's not on the channel anymore. There's a couple other guys that basically went off as well.
Like Evan Cohen or Adam
okay,
Shine?
so no, those guys are still there in the morning. The morning men is Mike Babchick, Evan Cohen.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Patrick Maher stayed around or not, but he was doing a gambling kind of focused show after Nick Wright. And so it seemed like the move was going to be to have the morning men followed by Steve Torrey, followed by Russo, followed by Nick Wright, and then Patrick Maher, and that would be the order. And Pat McAfee came in and took like a 2 or 3 hour slot and just cut it right out of the middle and said, or we can do none of that stuff. And I think Chris Russo's after them. I mean, I could be looking all this stuff up and being accurate with everything that I'm saying, but this is more just like
I wouldn't be surprised knowing him. But
yeah. But anyway, so I mean, Pat McAfee definitely laid the groundworks for what you can do. So if that's what Tyreek Hill's doing, I mean, got it. But yeah, whole thing's just interesting, and I'm just ready for this football season to start happening so this can all blow over. And
to go back to Nick Wright, I mean, for anybody who listens to 610 maybe in the late aughts, I mean, Nick, I think first started off in like the night slots on 610 and quickly got moved down to the 2 to 6 with Carrington Harrison, I think was his producer at the time. And Carrington, I think, is now on The Drive, which is the main show on 610. But Nick was awesome on that show. I used to listen to him every afternoon.
Yeah, Nick's great. I think he's phenomenal. He's the mainstream media's Chiefs advocate, and Lord knows we need one. And I like First Things First. The whole show is just great. I think it's very enjoyable. I like the dynamic they have. You got Kevin Wildes as the Boston homer, and so watching him and Nick Wright argue about Patrick Mahomes versus Mac Jones is just high comedy.
Josh, why don't you become an NFL level punter, and maybe you can make this podcast go as big as his podcast? Maybe I think you are the problem here, actually.
Yeah, probably.
You did not become a punter in the NFL.
I mean, really, I needed to become a long snapper. I could have been the bad boy long snapper. Yeah.
I think, is it too late? Are we too old to like be a long snapper or a punter in the NFL?
Well, punter probably, but
yeah, I don't know.
Isn't there like a movie starring Tony Danza that says we can do this? I feel like
well, I mean, there was Angels in the Outfield.
Okay. All right.
That's right. Yeah.
Wasn't
like I think they did Angels in the End Zone after that, and nobody watched it, including me.
There's like a trash man kicking garbage, and he became a professional punter or a kicker or something like that.
Oh, you're thinking of, was that Mark Wahlberg?
No, because he was a bartender, and then he went and
I'm looking it up.
He was he was a gunner for the Eagles.
Yeah, Invincible.
Was that the movie?
Yeah, that was Invincible. And then we got the Gang Gets Invincible. Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode, which is a top 5 or 10 episode of that.
There it is,
where they had the McPoyle brother, who made the team and got shot in the leg by Frank.
Here's the movie.
Get in my mouth, Frank. Okay.
The garbage picking field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon.
Oh, nice.
This is before Invincible.
I don't even know why they had to make Invincible if they had this. I had the garbage picking field goal kicking Philadelphia. What a great name. There's a lot going on there.
Look at Tony Danza.
I love that it's an hour and 18-minute long movie too. I mean, they used to make movies that length.
So there it is. So yeah, we gotta. So if he can do it, Tony Danza could do it. Then
Yeah.
I think we can do it.
Yeah. Who's the boss, man? Come on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyways, one of that. I've watched Pat McAfee break down that terrible play. The Colts, the worst play in NFL history.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I watched it like 5 times and breaking that down, like what happened, why it happened. It's really funny. So I recommend everyone watch that. It's really funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the punter suddenly running up under center, and then
Yeah.
Am I gonna hike this? No, don't hike
Yeah.
it. Take 5-yard
What do I do?
penalty.
Wait, nobody's
So
there to
I-
block.
I love the Ben Stein commercial because I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off a couple nights ago.
Oh,
I
you
just
did?
hadn't watched that movie in a while, and when he's
Yeah, it's
the
been featured on
economics
Netflix,
teacher,
I think. Yeah.
yeah, when he's the economics teacher, is just like,
Yeah.
fry.
Right.
And then they released the anyone Holly Smoot tariff, which was supposed to raise or lower the rate. It raised it, and it was supposed to correct inflation. And did it work? Anyone? No, it did not work, and the United States fell further into the Great Depression.
If any 16-year-old or 18-year-old ran through my house at the very end of the movie, like he did in that movie, I would probably beat the shit out of them. Like,
Exactly.
get the frick out of my house, man.
Exactly. No, that movie that
Lucky they
movie's
didn't
quite
have-
bizarre.
Lucky he wasn't armed. Like, I'm going to shoot. This is
Yeah,
Chicago,
exactly.
asshole.
Exactly.
do this.
Exactly. Yeah. You clearly don't live on the south side. But yeah.
A good film.
All right, so preseason's wrapped, and I don't think we necessarily need to start getting into final roster, any of that stuff right now, but I do want to recap what we saw during the preseason. Chris, what was your biggest 3 takeaways from the preseason?
Patrick Mahomes is healthy. Patrick Mahomes is healthy. Patrick Mahomes is healthy. I don't know. I don't really get too much into the preseason. I've only watched the regulars play in the first 2 games, and then last night I haven't watched a snap of that other than the choir huddle. But
Yeah.
I always say, like, the preseason and training camp isn't necessarily finding out, like, you always get these guys that you get super excited about, like, Jesse Haynes, or what was last year? I think it was Devin Key. But the thing is that I don't necessarily consider that to be like, who are the diamonds in the rough. It's more like, who doesn't suck. I mean, that's really what the preseason is for, because it exposes guys that really can't play in the league. So from what I saw, it looks like the depth on defense has definitely, and speed and the athleticism has definitely taken a big step up, and the offensive line looks really good. And those are 2 things. It's nice to see that progression. Now, as far as Mahomes working with the receivers, he did a pretty good job. You can see a little clunkiness against the Commanders, but even despite that, they still went down and scored a touchdown, running very vanilla I formations and kind of RPO looks. So I mean, I have no reason not to feel good about them coming out and playing solid football. Now, it's going to be hell trying to come out with the schedule of the first 6 weeks, but I do feel a lot better now than I did a month ago.
Yeah, so I had my new Arrowhead 1 column coming out around the time that this is airing, so I won't get specific into dates and stuff like that. But what I said about the preseason is similar to where you went, where it's what does it mean, and so I'm going to give my notes from that. So what I think doesn't mean anything is the final score of the game, for the most part. And I say for the most part because I'm going to bring up an example where I think that some of that stuff does. I don't think that your record of the preseason games matters a lick of salt, for that matter. But what I do think matters are trends in chemistry and the type of things we're seeing. And so I picked up on some of the same stuff that you did. Patrick Mahomes is healthy. He's hungry. He's game ready. And I think he's ready to just start cutting people up in the regular season. I mean, he just looks very dialed in, professional, and ready to exonerate every demon that happened in the second half of that AFC Championship game that nobody enjoyed watching. The other trend that I saw from an offensive side, yes, the line looks great. Granted, preseason, so we can take this for what we think it's worth. There seemed to be a little bit more of a willingness to run the ball more often, which I'm afraid goes away, but I hope doesn't. I saw Lance Tidwell from The Spoken posted a thing earlier today where he was saying that, there's people that think Ronald Jones is in danger of getting cut because he wasn't used. His whole thing is we need a healthy Ronald Jones because somebody's going to have to run the ball between the tackles, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire hasn't shown any ability to do that over a long period of time. McKinnon's a 30-year-old undersized back, and
He was also injury prone.
Derek Gore's on. Yeah, I mean, he's injury prone, which is why he's not tearing it up in Minnesota.
That's why he didn't play till the postseason last year.
Or San Francisco. So, Ronald Jones could end up being a huge part of the game. Now watch, we're going to be dumb and he's going to be right out the door like Josh Gordon.
It's interesting because the guys over on the Red, Bold, and Gold podcast kind of had this conspiracy about the fact that they're shelving Ronald Jones to the second half in the first two preseason games was more like, okay, Andy Reid is really trying not to put things on tape. I mean, running all these RPOs like they did last year and running vanilla I formations and whatnot. It's like he's not showing his cards right now, and you're just going to see him open the floodgates out of the first month of the season, and it could include Ronald Jones. For the same reasons you said, Josh. I mean, he's a guy that he's a runner. Now his deficiencies are in receiving and pass blocking, which are two things that are big things that it got Darrell Williams by for the last couple of years. It got Spencer Ware by for a couple of years, but he is kind of the anti that. But he might be what this team needs in certain spots because he is still the best runner on the team.
Yeah. The other trend that I noticed was the same thing. The defense just looks more athletic. They look more up to the task. And we're going to end up seeing mistakes from all these rookies, but Leo Chanel doesn't let tackles go. George Karlaftis doesn't stop, and those are the two most important things that I think we're lacking. Our secondary needs to gel together to make this a good three-phased approach. But BJ Kissel went on the record and put a video out saying that the Chiefs rookie sack record is Derek Thomas, and he's calling for Karlaftis to break that. So you want to laugh that off because we're talking about a friggin' Derek Thomas record. But if you kind of think about it, pass rushers at or above the level of importance that's ever been. Yes. If Mahomes, who scored a touchdown on every single drive that he was in the preseason, operates that way and makes a serious run at 55 touchdown passes, which I definitely think is within the realm of possibility, because another trend is him spreading the ball around and being a more lethal assassin.
Throwing back shoulder throws to Juju Smith-Schuster and Jody Forts in the red zone.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. If we get to a point where teams are going to have to be trying to keep up with us at any point, then Karlaftis can just pin his ears back and go for it every time. I think it's something that I can see within the realm of possibility, but just overall, all those first team defensive series were wrapping up, being where they were supposed to be, playing with purpose. And that was what I wanted to see from the defense more than anything.
So the big thing, I wrote an article last year about how the linebackers were the weakest position on the team. That is not the case anymore. Nick Bolton
no, it is not.
Nick Bolton is a man. And I'm going to say Nick Bolton's going to make the Pro Bowl this year. I mean, he is really looking good out there right now.
Well, and then Frank Clark, making all those positive moves that he had as well.
He's done a lot, with his diet and
Well, it sounds humble for the first time in his career, which
he should be.
It's a good thing. Yeah. So
Took a pay cut.
exactly. So no, I mean, I think we got some good stuff going. I mean, Brian, how much preseason did you watch? And you can say none.
I watched the cliff notes of the Packers game, and I was excited to see Chad Henne do his thing. And I was excited to see some guy named Bushman.
Bushel.
Yeah, Matt Bushman. No.
Oh yeah, Bushman.
No, the tight end. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see Orlando Brown out there, and I think our O-line was looking good, getting some space. And gosh, yeah, it was just fun. There was another guy, I think, also named not Bushman, a Bush, who made a big like special teams tackle.
Yep.
Yeah,
Devin Bush. Yeah.
Bush,
It looked good. It looked good, cohesive, ready to play some regular season football. I'm excited.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll save the roster takes and we'll do an episode about record prediction and stuff like that. I think we can get some guests on for that one. So yeah, I think that we've covered everything we need to tonight. So let's get into final takes. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
I like it.
Cool. All right. Anybody got something grinding on them, or do you want me to go first?
I'm gonna ask the AI to write something for me.
I'm probably best to go last. So
All right.
Mine's not long at all, but yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna do my my typical twofer, and I'm gonna throw out just a real quick. Even if you're not a South Park fan, look for the YouTube video, the 2-hour and 40-minute version of the South Park 25th anniversary concert that they did, because I flew out to Denver for that. It was a Ween concert and a Primus concert, and Trey Parker and Matt Stone being starstruck, being on the venerable Red Rock stage. And
You even said 2/3 of Rush was there too. I mean,
yeah, and then 2/3 of Rush showed up the night that I wasn't there. So yeah, I mean,
Gotcha.
it's just, I had a blast because I'm a huge fan, but there's stuff that I think everybody can pull out of that, and it's just it was cool to watch that. My other one, as soon as we get done here, I am going to start tuning into the new series, Welcome to Wrexham. And this is a new soccer team for me. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, so the actors, and the man behind some of the funniest tweets of him and his wife going back and forth, Blake Lively, just trolling each other on Twitter. Oh, It's Sunny in Philadelphia is great. They got together before they physically met each other and decided to buy a soccer team, and they found one of the oldest clubs in the world, and it's this Welsh soccer club called Wrexham that's in the 5th tier of English soccer football, and their goal is to try and take them back to the Premier League, or take them to the Premier League, which is bare minimum a 4-year process, because you can only go up one league at a time, and they would have to get to League 2, League 1, Championship before they can get into the Premier League. And won't get into all the details of how difficult that actually is, but it's been impressive just seeing some of the changes they've come in. But the funniest thing to me of all is apparently Ryan Reynolds committed to everything before he told his wife about this, and that went over as well as you think it did. He spent like $2.5-3 million. So that gives you a couple of perspectives that I find very entertaining. First of all, what somebody of his stature considers a borderline disposable amount of income that you don't have to talk to your wife about. And then secondarily, it's just, I don't care how many movies you've been in, you still have to communicate with your wife if you're going to go out and spend a crazy amount of money. So that whole thing is just, very amusing to me. And, I'm excited to see what they do with the show, and, even more excited to see what they do with the team. I've been wanting to make it back to London to see a Spurs match at the new White Hart Lane, and I think I'm going to try to make a drive to Wrexham while I do it. So,
very good.
There you go.
I like it. I have 3 thoughts from the AI, and I asked it to say, I said, give me final thoughts about any topic you want. And these are the 3 topics it gave me. It's 3.
Kill all people.
Okay. So in conclusion, I believe that everyone has a different opinion on what is right and what is wrong. No one can truly be certain of what is right in every situation. We must use our best judgment and try to do what we believe is right, even if it isn't always popular. Also, I think it's important to have a strong work ethic. It can be tough to stay motivated, but the payoff is worth it. Having a good work ethic will help you stay focused and driven, which is essential for success. And last thought, I think it's important to have a healthy lifestyle. Not only does it make you feel better, but it can also add years to your life. It's important to find a balance between eating healthy and being active, and to find what works for you. Everyone is different, so don't be afraid to try new things. Thank you, AI. That's actually very nice.
Yeah,
Very
not
insightful.
bad.
That was deep, yeah.
Yeah. He
Deep
wants us to live
thoughts
longer
by
so he can put us into a zoo.
Jackie. No, so they can put us in a ranch. This isn't a zoo. Did you ever see the Twilight Zone? Where you have the aliens come down and they're just saying in their own language, "We're here to serve man."
Right.
And then they have a document that you find out at the end is a cookbook after they start taking humans to their planet.
Anytime I always think of like AI or anything like that, like taking over the world, I always think about like they probably have some pretty badass batteries, because even like electric cars can't go a whole day without screwing up. So like I feel like we're gonna make it, because
Your homework is to watch The Matrix, where they solve that problem.
Oh, hold on, but they put us in pods, but that I ain't going nowhere. But the AI, like I just say, like if we have a Terminator type situation, just unplug the damn thing. That they doesn't have a nuclear cell that has 400 years of life or whatever it is on it. But yeah, just unplug or wait for rain. That'll take care of it.
True.
Hang out
All right.
You just
That's
copy
my
yourself
solution.
like Smith, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, now Chris, I'm guessing you're going to have something reasonable to follow these two things up with.
I don't know how reasonable it was going to be, but yeah. So the first thing, quick shout out to my wife Morgan. She had a birthday yesterday. The other thing is
Our
that
draft analyst.
yes, that's right, she was. So there were a couple other things that had a birthday today. The first thing is Pearl Jam's first album 10
Oh, I know the other thing you're going to bring up.
turns 31 today. And this is actually the reason why it still had wrapping on, is because it's supposedly a special edition purple vinyl, but they started selling the damn thing in Target, so I don't know how valuable it is.
Sure.
And then the other thing is their fourth studio album, which is No Code, turned 26 today. And this is actually my second favorite album of theirs, but it's also my favorite album cover of any record that's out there. So happy birthday to No Code and 10, and just another reminder that I'm not getting any younger. So that's all.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't bring up the one that I thought yesterday. It's August 26th right now. We're recording August 25th. James Bond GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 turned
oh, really?
25.
Wow.
Wow.
That game was so
Movie
awesome.
game came out in 1997.
So many
Nice.
fights at sleep.
Where you found out that being short was a strategic way to not die.
Or the first time you snipe somebody with a sniper rifle, it was always the funniest freaking thing.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend who knew all of like the respawning areas. So what he would do is he would set grenades down all of those. So every time he'd kill you, you'd come back up and die again.
What a
bastard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my neighbor was like that as
Yeah.
well. It was just horrible, no fun to play with. But yeah, he would have the time bombs, you know, where you'd sit there and you'd just even go like
Many
oh
fights.
yeah.
Between that game and Mario Kart, there's a lot of fights at birthday parties in that one.
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I personally believe the best version of Mario Kart was on 64. That Star Fox 64 game is just incredible. GoldenEye is just a legend in and of its own. I have to admit that I never got into Zelda Ocarina of Time, or I would probably talk about that too, but that's the game that I remember taking up everybody's life. So
yeah, that Zelda game. I like the Super Nintendo Zelda. That was a good one. But my friends would play Ocarina of Time. I was like, not really. I was too busy with Mario, trying to find 120 stars in Mario. So that's what I was dedicated my life to on that
there
one.
you go.
Yeah,
there
right.
you go. All right. Well, I think that covers it. So we'll be back next week. And I think we're going to start getting more weekly regular, since we're getting into actual stuff to talk about.
Football.
So next week, I think we can talk about things like roster and schedule and stuff like that.
When do we
And I think
draft
we'll-
fantasy football? We should do that. I want to do that.
So we need to set that. We got to finalize the last person, which I think I have while I'm airing all of our Milwaukee Chiefs business on this. So yeah, I'll get everything finalized and we'll have the draft probably next week.
Cool.
Ooh. All right, rock on.
Just
All right.
don't make it Tuesday night. That's all I ask.
Okay,
I have another draft that night.
draft Tuesday. Got it.
Bastard.
Well, rock and roll. You guys
All
have a
right.
good one. Good night, Chiefs Nation.
Cheers.
Chiefs.